Hey everybody, Monday. Yeah, we're all hunkered down here in New York City, lockdown. New York is the epicenter of the national coronavirus outbreak, pandemic. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. So yeah, we are on lockdown here. I don't know where you are. Maybe a lot of you are on lockdown too. It's no fun, I'll tell you that. And I mean, everything is no fun right now. The economy getting destroyed is no fun. This lockdowns, the virus, everything's no fun. But we got to stay positive. We got to stay tough. We got to get through it. One for all for one. All right, it's Monday. I sent out the new edition of MMT Trader. Go to my website, pitbulleconomics.com, and sign up for a 30-day free trial. I got subscribers saying, "Hey, Mike, you should raise the price." I already raised it like so many times. It's up to $3.95, but they know value, and everyone got in at a lower price. And at $3.95, that's not going to last forever. I told you it's going to go up to $1,200 a month, $1,250. That's my target price. We had everybody short or out of the market in January, and this happened. Actually, if you go back and if you watch my videos at the time, I was really talking about the slowdown in the fiscal flows, which was taking out important economic support. And then, when the coronavirus thing hit, of course, that was the sledgehammer that just crushed everything. And then especially when they started shutting down the whole entire economy, that was it. So yeah, I talk about the forecasts in there. We got some really ugly looking forecasts for the second quarter, maybe for the rest of the year. Goldman, Morgan Stanley saying a 30% contraction in GDP. What's his name? The Fed, president of the St. Louis Fed, Bullard. He's saying a 50% contraction in GDP. Man! That's an 11, and Congress is like fiddling around here with some stimulus of $1 trillion or something like that. I mean, it might help in the short term. I mean, everybody needs money. But if you look at the Senate's proposal, a lot of that is loans. Like, these businesses were basically forced into bankruptcy by shutdown. And now the government says, okay, well, we'll loan you money. And Trump says, we'll take a position in your company. Like, these were healthy, viable, the airlines were healthy, viable businesses. They were shut down by a forced order, and now loans, now you got debt on your balance sheet. I mean, this should just be massive spending and investment into the economy by the government. I mean, we should be doing everything right now. Like, money for hospitals, money for people out of work, helping these industries with their payroll and cash flow and covering their losses, which were inflicted on them not because of bad management or that they were lousy companies. It was a total shutdown. And while we're doing that, we could fix the infrastructure. We could invest in basic science and research. We could invest in the environment. We could invest in education. Like, a lot of things you could be doing right now to bump the economy back up. So it's a really bad situation. Really bad situation. The Fed is buying up everything, everybody. They have expanded their list of assets. But now let's talk about this, because I've been saying this now for weeks. And, this goes way back. I've said it on every round of the QE or the asset purchases. What this does is it strips income out of the economy. The Fed's balance sheet, $4.5 trillion. That's $4.5 trillion of assets that it bought, which could have been assets, at least some of that could have been assets held by the economy, the private sector. The Fed earns income off of that. That's income that flows to the Fed, and then they hand it over to the Treasury. So it basically goes into a black hole. It's like paying down the deficit at a time when the deficit needs to go way up. And by the way, it is going to go way up with the stimulus, but probably not up as much as it should. They keep saying this is like fighting a war. Well, guess what? In World War II in 1941, the deficit was 35% of GDP. That would be like almost a 9 trillion, 8 trillion deficit today. And they're talking about adding a trillion or a 2 trillion package. So maybe it'll boost the deficit up to 3 trillion. We need something like 8 trillion. Crazy, folks, crazy. Now somebody said the dollar's move proves that MMT is wrong. First of all, MMT, it's not a question of right or wrong. It's basically an understanding of how the monetary system functions. That's like saying, it would be like saying physics is wrong. Physics is just an explanation of, the natural world. So MMT is right because the dollar should be in a bullish mode when you have this kind of deflationary monetary policy, where the central bank is buying up trillions and trillions of dollars in assets and stripping the income associated with those assets out of the economy. Why do you think gold pulled back from $1,700 an ounce? Why do you think equities are crashing? Well, the coronavirus, of course, but why do you think stocks crash every time they announce another one of these new QE programs? Because the market understands that this is a massive sucking out of income from the economy, which is deflationary, and that benefits a currency. By definition, in a deflationary environment, your currency buys more. Prices are coming down. Your currency is worth more. It's reflected as a higher exchange rate. So it absolutely explains it. It absolutely explains it. What else? What else? Interesting position numbers from the CFTC's commitment of traders in the most recent data. And by the way, the banking data, which was the most recent week through March 11th, man, like if you looked at that, and this is all in my report. If you go to the report, every week I break it down. Loans and leases, bank credit, bank assets, deposits, bank residual, which is basically bank capital. That's assets minus liabilities, basically bank wealth, right? Assets minus liability. I mean, if you see those numbers, you would say to yourself, man, we're in an economic boom. I mean, some of those numbers were freaking off the charts. But of course, we know what's going on. We're not in an economic boom. We're going to be in an economic depression, a deep, deep, deep recession if we're lucky. But these numbers, these are depression-like numbers. And yeah, I was about to say with the CFTC's commitment of traders report, oil commercials are still buying into this dip, okay? They were buying in the week ending March 17th, and I think crude traded down to $27 or lower than that, of course, now, but they've been buying every week as we've been coming down. And gold commercials in the week ending March 17th, man, they were aggressive buyers, adding sharply to their long futures positions in that sell-off in gold. And now look at it. Today, what do we go up to? 1560. So, everybody, that's the rundown for today. I hope everybody who is on lockdown, first of all, I hope you're feeling well. I hope you are well. All of you, I hope you're well. I really do. I wish you nothing but the best. Let's get over this thing. Let's conquer this thing. If you're on lockdown like me here in New York City, make the best of it. Spend time with your family, your kids, your friends. Well, you got to have social distancing, right? But I mean, make the best of it. Make the best of it. I don't know how long it's going to last. But we'll see. You got to make the best of it for now. So, hang in there, everybody. We need to see, if we see Congress come together on a stimulus bill, we'll probably get a rally in the market. But the way that bill looks to me right now, which is mostly, at least the Senate version, which is mostly loans, tax write-offs and tax deductions. Okay, you get that one-time cash payment to households. I think they're talking about up to $3,000 per family. But that depends on your income threshold. After that, it's loans, and it's all these tax gimmicks, tax write-offs, tax reductions. I mean, that helps some people. It helps big corporations. But again, it's another one of these, bailouts where the ones at the top get the most benefit. And how many times have we seen that over and over and over again? And so far they can't agree. The two sides can't agree. All right, go to my website, pitbulleconomics.com. Sign up for a 30-day free trial of MMT Trader. Do it now. Do it now. A lot of important stuff coming up. Bye.